Good morning, and welcome to the Baxter County Justice of the Peace Forums, presented by H&R Block, Judicious Spirits, KTLO Classic Hits in the Boot. Thank you for all of you for joining us live on the radio on KTLO FM 97.9 and streaming live on Facebook and on KTLO's YouTube page. I'm Heather Loftis. I'll be moderating today's conversation. We'd like to thank our sponsors, H&R Block and Judicious Spirits, for making today's forum possible. Sponsor support does not imply endorsement of any candidate. Today's forum features the 10 candidates seeking Republican nomination for 5 Justice of the Peace districts. This discussion is designed to give voters an opportunity to hear directly from the candidates ahead of the Republican primary election set for March 3rd. Thank you to the hundreds of questions we receive from our community for all of our forums. The questions our candidates will be asked today come straight from the community. For those of you listening on the radio, we have all 10 candidates in the conference room here at KTLO. Each candidate will be provided 1 minute for both an opening and closing statement. There is a timer available, and I would ask each candidate to be respectful so equal time is given to all. Before we begin with our candidates, I'd like for KTLO's Sammy Raycraft to walk voters through our Election Central page on KTLO.com.
Good morning. Election Central at KTLO.com is your local source for voting information and real-time election coverage. Find sample ballots for Baxter County and 8 surrounding counties in our listening area. These can be viewed, downloaded, and printed. Find a link to the Secretary of State's Voter View, an online tool to verify voter registration, party affiliation, and view the exact ballot that will be presented to you at the polls. Election Central contains county notice of elections as well as early voting and Election Day polling locations. Find up-to-date KTLO news coverage on local races and links to previously aired broadcasts, such as this one today. KTLO's Election Central can be accessed at KTLO.com 24 hours a day and is updated daily to bring you real-time information. On Election Day, follow along with live updated data showing the development of local races across the Twin Lakes area. Election Central, your local tool to guide you through this primary season.
Now, if you have a question during today's broadcast, you can call our offices at 870-425-3101 and submit your question. You can go online to KTLO's Facebook page and submit it. Rebecca Zerker from KTLO is monitoring our Facebook page. You can also send us an email at news@ktlo.com. 5 of the seats on Baxter County's Quorum Court have races this primary. 1 seat has a race in November. Unopposed seats this year include District 1, held by Dennis Frank, which is the Lakeview area and parts of Midway. Dennis is here with us today, and we'd like to provide him 60 seconds for a statement.
Okay. What I'd like to address is the Aldi situation, because it seems to be a hot button. The Economic Development Committee looked at this thing. Aldi's tried to come here 4 or 5 times before this situation there on the bypass. They were shut down by zoning, landowners, cost of dirt work, regulations from the city. The county looked at the situation that was being presented to us by the Economic Alliance Group, which I sit on a board at the judge's request. I'm a non-voting member, but I sit there for transparency. Anyway, the concern there was Aldi's could walk. There was no guarantee they were going to be here. So we decided to sweeten the pot. We paid a local contractor to clear the debris. We did not write a check to Aldi's. We did not partner with the Alliance. It's an investment that we looked at. Aldi's store is going to produce between $12 and $15 million annually to Baxter County. That's 1% sales tax. That's $120,000. For a $16,000 investment, that is one big ROI. So it's not a trade-off from Walmart. We're not, Aldi's already did the work. We were losing about 5,000 visits a day to West Plains, 12,000 visits a year to Harrison. These are out of Mountain Home zip code only. So anyway, it was a good thing to do, and that's why we did it.
Okay, we have some questions about Aldi's later in the show, sir. Again, the unopposed seats this year. District 5, held by Marianne Edge, which is the central part of Mountain Home. District 6, west of the city, all the way to Midway, held by Lisa House. And District 10 includes all of Gassville and Cotter, held by Shannon Walker. District 8 includes 201 South Old Military Road in the Beaufort area. This seat is held by Eddie Griffin, who is being challenged in November's general election by Democrat Micah Johnson. Let's begin with opening statements. First for District 2, which covers the northern part of the county on Highway 201 north to Pigeon Creek through Clark Ridge to the state line. We will start with the incumbent, Mr. Mike McDonald.
Hello, my name is Mike McDonald. I am running for JP District 2 again, and just hope that all my constituents out there will give me a call if they need or want me to come and look and take care of anything for them. Thank you.
Challenger Tia Peters.
Good morning. I'm Tia Peters. My life has always been guided by simple truth as God is the center of my family's life, shaping every value I hold. As a nurse, built my career on integrity, accountability, and transparency. I've learned how to be firm, fair, and consistent as a leader, qualities in which I will bring to the court if elected. I believe in advocacy and not just in administration. That's why my first act in office will be to launch a District 2 web page or Facebook page, and this will serve as a forum where we can communicate and I can be your advocate to ensure that District 2's voice is heard. I am ready to serve District 2 with a nurse's heart and a service spirit. Thank you.
For District 3, which covers the two different sides of Lake Norfolk, the north side of 62, including Mallard and Robinson Points, and then across the lake to Gamelia, Henderson, and Hand Cove. Rick Steiner is the incumbent. Mr. Steiner.
Thank you. I'd like to thank KTLO and you, Heather, for hosting this forum today. I always appreciate the opportunity to get out and engage with the public. As you said, my name is Rick Steiner. I've served on the Quorum Court for 5 years. I've lived in Baxter County for 45 years, married to Melissa Freeman Steiner for 32 years, and I have one adult son, Jackson. I graduated from Mountain Home High School in 1980. I've worked in the communication industry for 35 years. I'm a member of the First United Methodist Church, active member of the Rotary Club, honored to serve as your Justice of the Peace District 3 as your incumbent. I've worked hard to uphold the community's conservative values while ensuring responsible governance that prioritizes fiscal responsibility and safety of our neighborhoods. I believe in being a voice for our district and making decisions that reflect the best interest of the people. I'm running for re-election because there's still important work to be done. Rick Steiner, District 3. Thank you.
Mr. Steiner is being challenged by Jay Sabella. Jay is not in attendance at today's forum. District 7 is the eastern part of Mountain Home, along the bypass. We'll hear first from the incumbent, Mr. Bob Nault.
Hi, my name is Bob Nault. I'm the incumbent for District 7 Quorum Court, and I'd really appreciate your vote. I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing, talking to the people, listening to the people, and sometimes I really don't like that because I got to vote against myself. And there's sometimes it's hard to bring a question to the court because you get like you're a troublemaker, bringing a question to them and questioning them. And that's the way it shouldn't be, and everybody should walk away friends when it's over with. And I'd really appreciate your vote. My name is Bob Nault, District 7. Thank you.
District 7 challenger, Mr. Brian Aids.
Yes, I believe service to our country and service to our community is one of the highest callings that a person can achieve. I've served the government. I was in the Navy for 20-plus years. I was a police officer for a short time in Colorado. And then I worked at the hospital at Baxter Health as a security officer. Service has been pretty much what I've done most of my life, and I'd like to continue doing that. My family and I moved to Mountain Home in 1998. We believed that Mountain Home, and still do, that it was a place that has values of faith, family, and freedom. And the neighbors look after neighbors, and we still stand for the flag. Every day interacting with people when I was at the hospital reminded me that politics isn't about anything but people, and that's who I plan to serve. When elected, I promise that I'm going to listen to you, I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to lead with integrity. I'm asking for your vote. My name's Brian Aids.
District 9, directly east of Mountain Home, including Buzzard Roost, Tracy Ferry, Briarcliff, and Salesville. We will hear first from the incumbent, Mr. Cameron Davis.
Good morning, Cameron Davis, and I'm asking you for your vote, re-elect me back to District 9. I appreciate the opportunities I've been given. First moved here in 1979 with my family. We stayed for a couple years, then we started some career with Walmart. Got to come back in 95, been here ever since. Been able to serve this community in a lot of different ways. I'm an elder at my church, sat on 3 committees in the quorum court, active in the real estate business in town. And this county has been very good to me and my family through the years. I'd ask for your support. And I'd also like to thank all the people that are running. And it's a good thing to have so many people interested in politics. And I appreciate that their willingness to do the job. I hope to get your vote. I hope to stay where I'm at. This will be my 4th term. And I enjoy being there, enjoy the business. It's difficult at times, have a lot of varied opinions from people. I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you.
Challenger, Mr. James Baker.
Hello, my name is James Baker. I'm a lifelong resident of Baxter County. Some of my ancestors also served Baxter County's officials. I owned a business, started a business, Baker Truck and Equipment, in 1982 and sold it in 2021, and I'm retired. I am a certified flight instructor. My main goals are environment, and we've got some issues there that need to be worked out, and roads and the airport. And I would appreciate your vote and your support. Thank you.
For District 11, the largest district, basically covering the southern 1/3 of Baxter County and the most rural district, Buford Road to Four Corners down to Buffalo City to Norfolk to Jordan. This seat is currently held by Mr. Eric Payne, who is currently running for Baxter County Judge. We have 2 challengers for this seat. We flipped a coin to see who would go first. We'll start with Mr. Danny Woods.
Good morning. Thank you, Heather, for hosting this for us today. And my name's Danny Woods. I've lived in Baxter County since 1989. My wife was raised around the Norfolk, Lone Rock area. I've been married to her for 43 years, wonderful years. And I've raised 3 children in Baxter County. Baxter County is my home. I'm very passionate about Baxter County. I got 2 wonderful granddaughters. They help me in my business. I've been in the retail business for 42 years, and 35 of those years was right here in Baxter County. We continue to run that business today, Woods Feed and Farm Supply. And I'm running because I think we need some changes in Baxter County. A lot of people are in my district that I'm running for, especially, there's major concerns. So I'm asking for your vote as JP District 11.
Next, Mr. Tom Canta.
Thank you for having me this morning. I appreciate the opportunity. My name is Tom Canta. I'm running for District 11 of JP for Baxter County. I've lived in District 11 in Buford area for the last 28 and a half years. My wife and I have been married for 36 years. I have 2 grown daughters and a grandson. My whole life has been dedicated to serving the community I live in. I've been a police officer for 41 and a half years until I retired last year. It's all I know to do is to serve, and when I was approached by several friends and people in my area about running for this office, I said, yeah, I can do that, and I can continue to serve. I want to utilize my experience in working in government for over 41 years to help this county, to keep this county the great place it is. That's why I live here. It's a great place to raise kids. I raised 2 beautiful girls that I'm proud of, and I've retired here, and this is a great place. I want to keep it this way.
Again, if you'd like to submit questions during today's broadcast, you can call the station at 870-425-3101, send us an email at news@ktlo.com, or message us on Facebook. We have 5 segments we will cover, and the 2 candidates vying for the district seat will both be asked the same question. Let's get started with our first segment, the role of a justice of the peace and experience. I'll start with District 2 incumbent, Mr. Mike McDonald. What experience best prepares you to serve as JP for your district?
I was facilities manager and security officer at Integrity First Bank for 26 years. I had a budget to deal with. I had dealt with everybody under the sun in the banking business. I'm easy to get along with, very open. If you need something or have a question about something, I'd be more than happy to answer it.
Ms. Peters.
I've always been a civil servant, including basically being a nurse. I've always been an advocate, transparent between the doctor and the patient, and so I'm just here to serve my community the best I can in this community in Baxter County, and I just want to be the voice for District 2. I feel like we need to get back to grabbing a lot of people in the community to be part of the local quorum court. I feel like setting up that web page would be really beneficial because it would allow District 2 to have a voice and to feel like they are heard.
For District 3, how do you define the role of a JP within Baxter County government? Mr. Steiner?
Well, I see it. We represent the people. There's about 3,800 people in everybody's district. The county's divided into equal pieces. So constituent services is a big part of it. I do have a network of people. I've been involved in the business community for my whole career here, so I know a lot of people. So when constituents bring me concerns in varying interests, whether it's mowing or roads or potholes or airports or whatever, I have people I can go to get answers and solutions. So, we are a servant of the people, and it's all about taking care of constituents, and that's what I've been. In my career, I've been a troubleshooter and a problem solver, and I'm kind of, that's something that you need to do. There's always an issue, and it relates. My career relates very easy to the quorum court work and just taking care of people.
Again, the challenger for District 3, Mr. Jay Sabella, did not attend today's forum. For District 7, I'll start with you, Mr. Nault. What issues have residents in your district raised with you most often?
Mainly it's environmental. And my district mainly is in the city, so the city takes care of the roads. There's only one gravel road in my district, and that's mine. And environmental is the biggest thing, and taxes. All these was an issue. We explained that. And that's about it, is the issues in my district. I have in other districts call, and they complain about their roads and so forth, and I'll bring it to the quorum courts, the person, who's over that district, or bring it to the county judge. And basically, that's about it.
Mr. Aids.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes, sir. What issues have residents in your district raised with you most often?
Well, as a candidate, I have not talked with, haven't heard any issues particularly, but I'm open to listen to folks. I want to solve problems. Every place has an issue. There's not one that does not, so I'm willing to listen and do research and do what it takes to find the answers and bring it to the people, bring it to the quorum court, and hopefully solve those issues.
I'll go to District 9. I'll start with you, Mr. Davis. How would you balance representing your district while making decisions that affect the entire county?
Well, that's a big question, and a lot of things to consider. Many things have come up in the time I've been there. One was the airport business, for sure. Had a lot of heat about it. You have to listen to a lot of people that understand what the commission's job is, or the advisory board, and you have to balance things as far as road and bridge issues, and everybody's upset about the roads from time to time about different things, but by and large, I think the county does a good job with that. It's the biggest job they've got and the most expensive job they've got. So there's a lot of things to consider on that. Have to pass along information, and I do. I get with the road supervisor, I get with the judge, different things. Being on 3 committees, you certainly hear a lot of different things, a lot of different opinions, and we try to explore as much as we possibly can and make good decisions for the entire county.
Mr. Baker, same question to you. How would you balance representing your district while making decisions that affect the entire county?
Well, it's a lot like being in business, and I've served the public, for 40 years in business. You've got to listen to your customer, diagnose their problem, and then get a game plan to take care of that problem and try to get it fixed the best you can. I was a problem solver for my customer base for 40 years, and that business has been sold and still operating today and doing well. And I'm proud of that. And I will use the same skills and problem solving for the citizens of Baxter County and the citizens of District 9. Thank you.
Very good. We'll move to segment 2, county budget and taxpayer accountability. I'm sorry, I skipped District 11 for that segment. I apologize. I'm going to go back. Let me go to District 11. What do you believe is the most important responsibility of the Quorum Court? Mr. Canta, I'll start with you.
Could you repeat that real quick?
Yes, sir. What do you believe is the most important responsibility of the Quorum Court?
It's to represent the people where you live. It's to have an open mind, to listen to everybody when there's concerns and issues. Not to have my own agenda, because I don't, just to represent the people and to be fair about it. Being a policeman for as long as I was, I've always learned very quick and early, there's always two sides to a story. And the truth lies somewhere in the middle, because everybody's perspective for an incident or a problem is different. So one person's perspective doesn't make them wrong, doesn't make the other person right. You just got to take everybody's concerns and do what's best for the county and be fair.
Mr. Woods, I'll ask you the same question. What do you believe is the most important responsibility of the Quorum Court?
Well, I'm going to agree with Mr. Cannon on that. I think listening to your constituents is probably the most very important thing you could do. Being sure that transparency is provided for your constituents in the county, going back to the judge's office. I think we need more transparency there, and one of the most important things would be make sure that that's given and take that back to your people, because at the end of the day, that's what your job is to make sure they're represented in the highest form possibly could be.
Very good. Now I'll move on to segment 2. This is about county budget and taxpayer accountability. I'm going to start with District 9 this time. Mr. Baker, you will go first. Do you believe county taxpayer dollars should support economic development projects like it did with Aldi's?
I think the best way to do this is helping with right-of-way, getting utilities into where the business is needed, and I think that needs to be covered first, and then before anything else is looked at. That's where I think county government could excel better in helping businesses develop, is to make sure that they've got the proper road going into it the best you can, on using the county's property that you existingly have, and that's the way I would address it first.
Mr. Davis, same question.
Well, what we did with the Aldi situation in partnership with the Economic Alliance, that's what they needed. And if they needed utility help, we'd have helped with that. I think the estimates are low on what that payback's going to be on that deal. The retail sales of those stores is pretty good. It's going to be a tremendous payback over time, as Dennis mentioned, ROI, return on investment. I think it's the right thing to do, and I don't think that's the first time someone's got help from some group before, and it's always been a successful thing. And I think it's going to provide a lot of jobs. It's going to provide a lot of tax revenue, and I think the citizens of the city or the county is going to really enjoy not having to drive to Harrison and give them that tax money, or West Plains, Missouri, either one. So I think it's the right thing to do.
I'll go to District 3 now. Mr. Steiner, how should the Quorum Court approach the county budget in a time of rising costs?
That's a great question. I'm glad Dennis is here because he's the chairman of the Budget Committee. But rising costs is part of it. We have been blessed with our tax revenues. It's very, we have a period of great growth. It's very easy to govern when there's plenty of money. One of the things I was a little bit concerned about, I didn't really voice it, but we've had an issue with the fish hatchery, and I'm wondering how that's going to affect the tourism industry. I have a good friend, and he's a guide. He does it daily, lives across the street. And I said, hey, what's this going to do to your business? Have you had cancellations? And he said, well, I'm a fly fishing guide. Fly fishers don't take or keep a lot of fish. But I still wonder if that's going to impact our tourism, because that was a big thing. And at this point in time, it's unknown. And because of my conservatism, I'm just kind of like hide and watch. But our budget's in great shape. We have not had a problem yet, but everything's cyclical.
Again, the challenger for District 3, Jay Sabella, did not attend today's forum. Mr. Frank, you're sitting in front of a microphone. I'm happy to give you 60 seconds.
I want everybody to understand that Baxter County is one of the few counties in the state of Arkansas that is debt-free. We paid off our last bond issue on the airport in '22. Overall, the aggregate debt that counties in Arkansas carry is $750 million. That's $10 million per county on average. Again, we are not in debt. We have a nice cushion because the way we have set our budgets and run our budgets, they're very conservative. We will be able to weather situations like Rick just brought up. We'll be able to weather a lot of this. Our sales tax revenue will drop when inflation drops. It's just it's 101, economics 101. So we budget that way, and we make sure we're following it.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to move to District 11, and I'm going to ask a question that we've received from Facebook this morning because it does have to do with the budget. Is there anything that can be done about the issue of trash and garbage dumped along our county roadways? Is there a practical solution to cleaning up this unsightly mess? Mr. Woods, I'll start with you.
I don't know. I see a lot of that out in my district. I hear a lot of complaints about different views that people get when they're driving down certain roads. I don't know what the solution would be without violating someone's or without an ordinance being passed that you can't do that. But I'm also big on property rights, so I don't really have a solution for that. I think it should be looked into, but it is in some areas. It is a problem. I think that would be something that could be more answered by the judge than anybody on what avenue to take for that.
Mr. Canta, your response?
I would think that maybe if it was feasible to do, to use some of our road crews when they are out cutting to have a clean crew before they cut. If there's a complaint specifically, let's say my road, and somebody dumps their trash as they're flying through from the river, let's just call the county judge. Let's see if we can get a road crew guy out there in a pickup truck. Let's get it picked up. Let's get it hauled to the dump, the county dump, and get it out of there so it doesn't lay around, for days on end. It doesn't attract animals or different things. And then maybe look at, I don't know, we don't have countywide trash pickup. The city does. At the county, like where I live, everybody chooses the company they want. Maybe there's somebody that we could have. I don't know if there's budget room. I don't know. I don't want to put the burden on any one department like roads, but we could look into a way to try and be faster to pick it up.
I'm going to move to District 7. Mr. Aids, I'll start with you. Lots of questions about county roads, but the Sheriff's Department's budget is just as important to the county. What is the biggest investment you would like to see made in the Sheriff's budget?
In the Sheriff's budget, it's a good question. I think we need to, again, look at getting money from the state as far as for the state, what do you want to call them, convicts, for lack of a better word.
Inmates.
Yep, inmates, there you go.
That's the program.
For state inmates. I think that would help. I think the salaries for the officers need to be looked at, needs to be comparable to what the rest of the area is. And then also equipment. We need again, we need to have body cams, we need to have training, we need to have a physical fitness standard. So that would be my input.
Mr. Nault, I'll repeat the question. Lots of questions about county roads, but the sheriff's department budget is just as important. What is the biggest investment you would like to see made in the sheriff's department?
Well, biggest investment is basically cars, cameras. We put a lot of miles on our vehicles. And I'm not cutting on the roads, but some of these roads are pretty rough to go down on a gravel road when you got to get there in an emergency. And they beat them up pretty good. They need to be replaced. Body cameras, that would help our county immensely, I think. I really do. And looking at the salaries, I think they've done a pretty good job. The budget committee putting together every year and giving a salary increase of 3%, 4%, or whatever it is, whatever they can do. I think that's great. I got a little bit of time. Can I answer a question on Aldi's?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on Aldi's, on the economic development, I think we pay that every day. Every day we go to the grocery store and pay our taxes. We pay for economic development. We're for our roads, our police, our services. I'm not against any business coming to town, and I'm not against helping any business coming to town. But it should be equal across the board, small business and large business. And I think that's what we need to take a look at. Thank you.
I'll move to District 2. Ms. Peters, I'll start with you. How would you explain a difficult or unpopular budget decision to one of your constituents?
Well, I would, a difficult budget. This kind of takes me back to working at Washington Regional. I was in the budget committee up there as a charge nurse on the floor. But basically, we had issues at that time as well with just keeping employees if we didn't have the acuity of the patients, if we didn't have the not even just the acuity of the patients, it was the number of the patients in the building at the time. So we had to cut down on our staffing. And so I know I go to a lot of my experience as a nurse, but that's where I come from as a nurse. And so I just kind of try to be transparent in that aspect, but I would just basically explain in simple terms as well as I could about how much we do have for the budget and where the budget does come from, and kind of latent terms just to allow them to be able to understand.
Mr. McDonald, how would you explain a difficult or unpopular budget decision to one of your constituents?
It's kind of like your household. You have a budget you have to live by. And the county's the same way. They have a budget they have to live by. If you don't have the money for it, you budget for it, and it may take a month, 2 months, 3 months to save enough money to take care of the issues that someone is wanting to get taken care of.
I'll move on to segment 3. I think someone's phone is going off. I'm sorry. You know, okay, well, here. No, it's not the TV. Yeah. Danny, give me your phone. There's a little music bed that's been running this entire time. So. No, we turned that one off too. So a little. Cameron, did you hear anything? So.
I didn't either.
A little moment of levity. So. It is. Yeah. We're gonna move on.
Yeah, it's that. It's your fault.
It's a.
A little entertainment.
Becca, can you help Danny? All right, I'm gonna move on to segment 3, if that's okay with everybody. Roads, services, and district needs. I'm gonna start with District 11 if y'all are ready. So, hang on. Yeah. Mr. Canta, I'll start with you this time.
Yes, ma'am.
What's going on with County Road 73? This project was started when Judge Pendergrass was in office, and it still isn't completed. I am told now it's between RDOT and the electric company. Can you tell us what's going on?
I honestly cannot. I am not involved in that currently. I don't have much of a background on it. If the county is saying that there's problems or waiting on RDOT and electric service, that would be a big reason not to progress. I mean, you can't go further if you don't have utilities in and you don't have the state on board with what you're doing. So you can't just decide we're going to move forward and then 2 months later, here comes the co-op or Entergy having to dig everything up because the utilities weren't done right in the first place. But other than that, I don't know specifically that county road.
Okay. Mr. Woods?
I don't know any specifics on that particular road, but I can name some specifics on some other roads that have been held up in the same way, and everything was provided to the judge. You know, a couple of individuals spent $40,000 of their own money to get fences moved for the right-of-ways, and they've been ignored ever since, along with a lot of other roads in Baxter County where we really have, in my opinion, the biggest problem we have there. We got emergency vehicles that can't get down, and I can mention road numbers in Pacific 236. We got a gentleman at the end of that road that has cancer. We drove in there to make a video of the road and couldn't get out, and we had four-wheel drive. Well, what if there's an issue with that individual? How are you going to get him out of there? So I can't speak specifically for that particular road, but I can for some that the work has been done on for the judge, and the judge has just ignored them. Now, if I could, I'd like to bounce back to the Aldi's thing and clarify one thing. Till this morning, I never heard any numbers till Mr. Franks brought them up. I'd like to know who did that survey saying how many tax dollars was leaving Baxter County, because we know that tax dollars taken away from Walmart's, Town and Country, Harps, and others is not improving tax gain in the county. The only loss of that was whatever people was, and I didn't know, and I'm not against, I'm for true economical development. How was those numbers? Okay, time's up, but I'd like to get back to that when I have my chance and explain.
60 seconds in a closing statement. You can have at it too, or other questions. Mr. Frank, would you like 60 seconds for that question?
I don't need
Or
60
for that-
seconds.
okay.
Aldi provided that information. That's stuff that they do. They can track through credit card purchases, zip codes of who are making the purchases. And again, those numbers were just Mountain Home. It's not the whole Baxter County. So there was a whole lot more people going up there, and we were losing that tax revenue.
Again, that question was in regards to County Road 73. I would like the listener who sent that question in to know, I did reach out to several people about that because I did not know anything about it. I had advance warning, so you guys didn't have that benefit, but it is a permit that we're waiting on from the Forestry Service, is my understanding of that. If anyone else has a comment on that. Mr. Nault?
Yeah, I was road superintendent when all this come about, and it is state aid, and it's a lot of projects. A lot of people are working on this road, and there's a lot of conflict, and it's landowners, right-of-ways, and plus state aid. It's RDOT. And
It's sitting on someone's desk in Hector, Arkansas, is my understanding.
correct, and they're going back and forth about that. That's what's taking so long. It's not the county is not the problem. The problem is somewhere else. So I just wanted to bring that
If
up.
anyone's listening in Hector, Arkansas today,
There
we're
you go.
talking about you in Baxter County. So I'm going to move to District 2. Again, this is our segment on road services and district needs. Mr. McDonald, I'll start with you. During the recent snow event, KTLO's Facebook received several comments about different county roads that were never touched. With over 700 miles in Baxter County, how do you ensure all county roads receive equal attention?
Well, that's a good question. Our Road and Bridge Department, from what I saw, is I have a farm out 69, and I live on 27, and both roads were pretty well taken care of. I haven't heard anything from many of my constituents about how bad their roads were. I would hope that they would call or email me and let me know what was going on. So that, I don't know how to answer that question.
Ms. Peters?
There's a couple of different constituents that I had talked to that was concerned about the roads, especially out on 27, out in the back part where they had meet at the 25. She said that they had only plowed once, and then after that there was no other plows there. And so as far as bringing it, I would bring it up to the court, see how the county roads are making it to be where, how do I put this? Basically, bring it to the county court or the quorum court and ask the judge, figure out exactly how many plows we have, figure out what the timing is. I know we have a lot of county roads in Baxter County, and so, I mean, we can get to all of them, but there's, I would have to continuously look into it.
I'm going to move to District 9. According to the last census, 237 District 9 constituents live in Briarcliff. As you have prepared your campaign, talk about what you have done to familiarize yourself with the situation in Briarcliff and how you plan to serve the community as their JP. I'll start with Mr. Davis.
Well, certainly aware of a lot of the issues in Briarcliff. I was told my job was to stay out of that and let the state and the attorneys handle that. I have done that. I'm still aware of the situation. I think it's on an improving trend to some degree. At least there's some dialogue. I just have to follow the advice of what the state and the attorneys tell me to do. I think it's unfortunate that that happened in the first place on a number of issues. Just be willing to work with them as I can go forward.
Mr. Baker?
I think Briarcliff is really moving forward now. I've spent quite a bit of time down there. I've been to about 3 different meetings. In fact, during the snow and ice, I helped them. I laid down on the ground and helped them put chains on and went over every bit of the roads down there and got to talk to a lot of people going door to door. And I believe things are moving positive now, in a positive direction. And so I believe everything's going to work out. It was important to me to see that they did. I served as Tracy Fire Department Board for 9 years, and that's Tracy Area's department, and they're at a 5 ISO rating, and their water at Briarcliff is represented in the ISO, and it's very important to me that's my community, and it's very, very important to me to see them to excel and go on, and I believe they're going in a positive direction. I've stayed right on top of that, even though I'm not JP. I'm running for that position, but my community is important to me.
I'm going to move to District 7. Mr. Nault, what district-specific concern would you bring to the quorum court?
Like I said, my district, most of it's in the city. I got a little bit in the county. They would like to see a little bit better on sewers and stuff, and that's behind Walmart in that area. But other than that, the concerns in my district, but we're not, other districts they are, because I answer my phone and so forth. But I'd like to bring up on snow, on the routes and that kind of stuff. And at one time, when I was road superintendent, I keep on going, I had a crew, there's a very good crew. We went over every road and put them in a category. It was 1 through 9. And when a person came in, they got a slip of paper saying, you go to Lakeview area, and you cover this area, and every road is on there. And you cover it. We could cover the road at that time. We could cover roads within about a week. And not have them completely cleared, but we would have a truck over them where people could get in and get out. That program is still there somewhere, and it's a very excellent program, and the guys worked hard to put that together. So that would be a good answer for the solution.
Mr. Aids?
Would you repeat the question?
What district-specific concern would you bring to the quorum court if elected?
Well, just like Mr. Nault said, majority of it is in the city and is taken care of by the city. I'm hoping that when I get elected, that my constituents, if they have issues, are going to bring them to me so that I can address them with the quorum court.
District 3, Mr. Steiner. What is your opinion of the current project to make the area of northeast of Mountain Home a second-class city and implementation of a new new sewer system?
Well, I have come across a great number of constituents who are very concerned about that. My understanding, there's several pieces to that puzzle. First of all, the area is not clearly defined, and once it does get clearly defined, then they would decide who gets to vote, and there would be several steps. You'd have to become a city, then you'd have to pass a tax, and then you'd have to build a sewer system. 10 years, I think, is an optimistic number to do all that, and tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars. And I don't think anybody wants a 2% tax on their electric bill, their water bill, their everything they buy online and Amazon, all that stuff. People don't want their taxes to go up. And I have not seen these terrible septic tanks. I mean, everybody on my street, our septic works great. So, I mean, they're not all failing like that. And sewers are nice, but can we afford that?
Let's move on to the next segment, growth, planning, and county-wide impact. I'll start with District 7 this time, start with Mr. Aids. How should Baxter County plan for future growth?
Well, they need to take a look at the areas that are going to support that growth. You need to have the infrastructure. You need to have a tax base that, you know, what is this business going to bring to the community? Is it going to benefit it? Again, you know, the tax base and where it's going to do, what can they do for the community is what really needs to be looked at.
Mr. Nault?
I believe it's the economic development. The group, they should take a good look at different areas where we can get growth in. We need housing, affordable housing, and where we can put it, we need our infrastructure looked at. And I think that's part of their job too. I think, you know, to come up, I'm for growth. We need it here, but we also need infrastructure. And if infrastructure comes, then growth comes, then we need more police officers. We need more ambulance. We need more. And I think that's something that our economic development should look into down the road. So if we can bring these big people in, we have the people that can move in our area. We got affordable houses for these people. Because right now, we don't. Thank you.
I'll go to District 11. Mr. Woods, I'll start with you. What concerns do you hear in your district regarding development or land use?
I've not heard a lot of complaints as far as, you know, what our land is being used for. Is that the question? We don't have a lot of discussion about that in my district. It's all rural, for one thing. We're very rural. I mean, District 11 is the largest remote district in the county. So there's not a lot of discussion out there about what our land in the county can be used for. I don't think we're governed on any of that right now. I don't think there's any restrictions what we use it for and what we can't use it for, unless it was violating some environmental situation. Then, you know, we're still open in the county. We're not required permits that I'm aware of to build. If I fully understand the question, we don't have any of those regulations in District 11.
Mr. Canta?
The only concerns I've heard since I've been running is not to grow too fast, not to grow just to grow, you know. So like was spoken earlier, to have a plan and do what's best overall for the county and not grow just for the sake of growth. I'd like to go back on one thing. Earlier they were talking about snow plowing, and I'm not an expert in, you know, clearing roads. I think this last snow, I think the county did a really good job. Where I live, roads got cleared reasonably. They were passable. The biggest thing for me would be, if I had a concern, communication. Call your JP and say, why haven't our roads been done? It's been 3 days. Then that JP, if it's me, would then call the county judge and say, this road hasn't been done, can you check into it? But if you don't communicate, you don't know there's a problem. And if you don't know there's a problem, you can't help. So that's just my 2 cents on that.
District 3, Mr. Steiner. How should the county balance tourism benefits with costs to local taxpayers?
Well, tourism is one of our largest industries, and I think we've been doing a fairly good job of taking care of it. One of the things I've seen over my years of being here is every now and then it comes up with funding for the fish hatchery. Now, I don't understand why that wasn't covered or, you know, written in stone in the beginning, but the fish hatchery is very important. Fishing is a big part of our tourism. We have other things as well. The Baker District is something that really kind of came out of nowhere, and it's really taken off. I think it exceeded it sure surprised me. I mean, I knew it was going to succeed, but I didn't realize it was going to succeed to the level that it did. So we are seeing some things like that, and I think our tourism is good. We don't have anything that's hurting the quality of life for our other residents. So I think we're doing good.
For District 2, Ms. Peters, I'll start with you. What infrastructure investments would be most important in the coming years?
Well, infrastructure, I'm going to relate that back to the hospital. As an ER nurse, charging up there on the weekends, a lot of times we do not have enough rooms for these patients. And as the infrastructure as we start growing and becoming a bigger city, I feel that the hospital really needs to grow as well. I feel like the community is outgrowing the hospital. And I feel like that's where we should be growing.
Okay. Yes, sir. Mr. McDonald, what infrastructure investments will be most important in the coming years?
I think the biggest infrastructure improvements would be better roads, not so much everything paved, but more roads and more ins and outs to the mountain home or Baxter County. Baxter County is pretty much on its own. Once you bring trucks down in here, you've got how many miles of just windy roads that aren't any good for anything. I think that's the biggest thing that we need to look into.
For District 9, Mr. Baker, I will start with you. If elected, how should tourism affect your planning and budgeting decisions?
Tourism here is based on water. I mean, our lakes and streams are what brought everybody here. That's what caused them to move here. This is what's taking care of our fishing guides, and we've got an issue with this. We've got a water issue in my area, and it's not being head-on addressed at all, and I'm very upset about it. In fact, I'll be honest, I got ill because of my water, and I got H. pylori, and the thing is, there's 2 more people that got sick, and with the water, they can't. And one of them has been drinking that same water since 1994, and so this water's going to affect our tourism, and we've got to get a hold of it pretty quick, or we're going to be in trouble.
Mr. Davis?
Well, certainly tourism's big for the area, no doubt about that. But there's another part of tourism that people don't talk about, and we are a regional destination day trip. You come to Mountain Home area, you can shop at a Lowe's and a Home Depot and a Walmart Supercenter and tons of restaurants, good restaurants that we have in the area. And then they can travel back to their home. It's kind of like a Branson. It's lots of things to do here. And that's a big source of tax revenue as well. And we talk a lot about taxes. We gotta increase our taxpayers, and we need people moving here, and we need jobs for people that come here. All these things going to provide 100 jobs, and some people's not worried about that because they got a job. But there's 100 people out there looking for a good job, and that's going to be one of them. And then the places where they come from, they'll be able to hire and refill those positions as well. So it all works together. There's not one thing that that we can't lose track of. It all is like baking a cake. It all takes all these things together.
Our last segment, transparency, ethics, and communication. I'll start with District 3, Mr. Steiner. How do you plan to keep residents of your district informed about quorum court decisions?
Well, I think the media does a great job of covering the quorum court. If you want to know more about the quorum court, you can attend committee meetings, because a lot of stuff is hashed out in committee meetings, and it's very well publicized when those occur. I'm afraid that some of that stuff occurs during working hours, so that kind of limits the people. On the quorum court, I think I'm the only one that has a 40-hour-a-week job that I have to answer to, and I'm not retired. But I have a Facebook page. I don't put a lot of stuff on there because there's a lot of stuff on Facebook. But I mean, the information, and it's kind of better to know about it ahead of time instead of hearing about what happened when there's nothing else you can, I mean, it's already taken care of. There's nothing you can do. But there are some things coming up, and we've got some building projects going on. So, I mean, there's some neat stuff happening with the Quorum Court right now.
I'll go back to District 9. Mr. Davis, I'll start with you this time. What questions should JPs ask before approving growth-related spending?
A lot of details there to answer. How's it going to affect things that are here? What's it going to do? What's it going to provide? Is it additional? Is it something that we already have? It's a lot of questions. All those things are to be considered, certainly explored as much as we possibly can. I think we make good decisions on that from all aspects, from the economic development to the budget, and the Quorum Court overall. I think this particular Quorum Court has done a good job moving things forward, and I appreciate what the judge does and his job. And I think the county's moving in a great direction in all aspects, and I just want to continue to help move that forward.
Mr. Baker?
If you see a need, that's where you got to justify the money before you spend. But I want to add something where I see the need and what needs to be addressed, if that's okay. One of them is in Rick Steiner's district, and it is that bridge that the piers it's lowered down and washed out. And I walked it, I looked it over, and what's happened is the tree roots have gone down, went underneath the pier, washed it out, and it dropped 18 inches. If we don't do something before these spring rains start and clean that debris that's laying up against that, level it up so we can get in there, and I think it can be jacked up and saved. The judge said in the debate that there's only 25 people coming across that, so it's not justified to fix. Well, here's the deal. One of those can be a fire truck to save a life. One of them can be a police car. It's 45 minutes to go all the way around. Him not doing anything, even though it's not my district, is very upsetting. That bridge can be saved, in my opinion. And he's not made any actions to do that. Thank you.
I'll go to District 7. Mr. Nault, you voted against the changes made to the airport last year. Do you think those changes have made a positive or negative impact on our county?
That's a hard one, too. I think the advisory board right now, they're going forward with some stuff, but the stuff that is going on right now is a lot of stuff that was voted on in the past from the advisory board or the commission. I didn't believe in getting rid of the commission. If you're not satisfied with somebody not doing their job, you get them out of there. Put somebody else in there. Right now, the judge has full control over that airport, which he did before, but at least he had to speak to the commission. The advisory board, if he doesn't like it, he can get rid of it. We don't have a say on the court at all about that advisory board. I'm against that. We should have a say. And transparency, that's a big word.
Mr. Aids, I'll ask you the same question. Obviously, you didn't vote on that issue, but do you believe the changes have had a positive or negative impact?
From everything I've heard, yes, it's had a positive impact. The advisory board has made recommendations, and they have been followed, and right now the airport is bringing in money. They've also have private individuals that are going to have hangars built, and those buildings are going to be on county property, and those buildings are going to be county. So I think the advisory board, even though the JPs don't have it, I think the judge is doing a fantastic job with that.
I'll go to District 11. Mr. Canta, I'll start with you. How should citizen concerns or complaints be handled at the quorum court level?
Well, the best way would be direct communication. So if there is a concern or a problem, it should be brought to the JP, the area they live in. And then from there, that can be brought to the court and to the judge. It all depends primarily on what the issue is. Some issues might have to go directly to the judge. Other issues can be brought up to the court, and we can work on it together. What might be a concern in District 11 may also be a concern for somebody in District 8. And then again, what is a concern there might not be a concern in our district. So to me, depending on the concern, everything specific and individual should be addressed through the court and then ultimately the county level with the judge if it needs to, depending on the exact issue.
Mr. Woods?
Well, sometimes you can't be heard at all the way it's set up right now, because if you ask to be put on an agenda, and I know this personally because I asked my JP at the time, on behalf of the citizens that live on my road, to get on the agenda to go to the Quorum Court. Well, it went through the judge, and the judge personally called me and said, now, Danny, that's not the place to talk about this. I disagree with that, but I said, well, if not, where is? He said, well, we need to set up a meeting down there. I said, all right, give me the date and time. He gave me the date and time. We set that meeting. We advertised it on your radio station that he would be there. He never bothered to show up. So sometimes you're not heard at all. Depends on who you are and what the subject is.
Move on to District 2. This is our last question, and I'd like to thank our student intern here at KTLO, Riley Roberts, for sending in this question. She's a senior at Mountain Home High School. Mr. McDonald, I'll start with you. How do you plan to stay connected to the young voters of our county?
I know a bunch of young people in Baxter County, and my phone's always on. They can email me because I know that's what everybody does now. They don't make phone calls. They text or email, and I'll take a text or an email, and just put a hand out there, and I'll get back with you or talk to you right there on the spot.
Ms. Peters?
Well, with my opening statement, I had explained that I would do a web page or a Facebook page, and this is my main goal as far as communication wise, is because there's a lot of young people like myself, and I want to try to get to those millennials because there's a lot of millennials and baby boomers, but I want to actually be the voice of the people, and my phone's always on. And I feel like the Facebook page would be ultimately the best place to be able to voice any comments, concerns, questions, and hold people in the Quorum Court accountable.
We'll now move on to our closing statements. Each candidate will have 1 minute to speak directly to the voters of Baxter County. We'll reverse the order of our opening statements, and we'll start with District 11. Mr. Tom Canta will go first.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity today to be with everyone and to discuss different needs and concerns for the county. I'm running for Baxter County, JP District 11, because it's what I want to do and I want to help. I have a 41-year career of service, and I want to continue that service. It's just what I know to do since I was 21 and a half years old. I want the opportunity to continue to do that. I want to be a voice for the citizens of District 11 and to help Baxter County to grow in a good way, to keep us moving forward. And I want to be able to keep the county the way it is, the best place to live, the best place to raise your kids, and a great place to retire. Now that I am retired, I do have the time and I still have the energy, and I will be available for my constituents. Thank you for the opportunity today.
Mr. Danny Woods.
Yes, I'm going to jump back to the last question on that I didn't quite thought I was running out of time on. But the way it should be, as far as getting to how you're heard on the Quorum Court, is to reach out to your JP and request to be on the agenda. That's not happening, and I can speak personally on that the way it is right now. But the proper way it should be is through the JP, but that's not the case. In closing, we got some problems in this county. One of them is our roads. What we're being told is simply not true. I asked the people to just get out and be their own judge, drive them yourself. Secondly, one big issue to me is our quarry, the old quarry. We had a building burned in that old quarry that we have some citizens getting sick over, more than one getting sick, going to the hospital. Test the water, Judge. Just test the water. Don't send your road superintendent out there, pull off the top of the pond. Test the well. I'm sure that KTLO would probably go out there with us. Just test the water, Judge.
For District 9, we'll start with the challenger, Mr. Jim Baker.
Repeat that question again, I'm
It's
sorry.
your closing statement, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I can ask more questions if you want.
No, that's
Y'all
all right.
might be tired of it.
My main agenda, like I said, is environmental. And environmental, not water's what I'm really pushing. And water, like I said, has brought every bit of our tourism, a lot of it here, has brought a lot of people that has moved here. We got to continue to make sure that this happens. But we've got to take care of our roads also on schedule maintenance instead of when it comes around election year. That's not going to work. And also our airport. I'm a certified flight instructor. I can see it would help before at the airport, the board, you had all pilots, mostly all of them but one on the board. So they could see things that the judge does not see. Yes, he has an advisory board, but also he is the sole person that in charge. And there's some safety issues that need to be worked out there and make it safer for the pilots coming in and out. But I want to represent my district, District 9, and I will use the skills that I gathered in business to do so, to make improvements the best we can. Thank you.
Incumbent for District 9, Mr. Cameron Davis.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here today and to hear these questions and answers, and thank everybody for being here. I want to stay at the table. Enjoy it. I carefully consider the things that come before the quorum court, try to make the best decisions we can. But none of us are trying to make a mistake and mess things up. I think this particular court has done a good job moving things forward, moving the county forward. It needs to continue because our community is still going to grow. There's a ton of people going to move to Baxter County, Arkansas, because they recognize it's a great place to live. It's a safe place to live. And we just need to continue to do things to attract people. And I believe we're doing that. I think there's a lot of people doing a lot of good work to help the county move forward. I want to be a part of that. And I appreciate the opportunity that you've given me. Hope you've given me your vote for this round. And I'll continue to do what I can. And thank all the voters who are involved in this process as well. Thank you.
For District 7, we'll start with challenger Brian Aids.
Well, I've served the country for several years, and I'd like to serve the community. I'd like to give back and say thank you to the folks that have really been here and helped. For those of you that are familiar with my mother-in-law, she went missing just a little bit a year ago. And the outreach by the community, the help, their assistance, really, it was a comfort to us, their prayers. And again, I'd like to give back to them, my family, my wife, my 2 grown children, and my 3 granddaughters. Really appreciated all the help, and that's what I'd like to do. I'm running for District 7, and I appreciate your vote. I'm willing to listen to you and ask tough questions, and hopefully make sure that the county government is spending and serving the people, spending the money correctly and serving the people as best it can, and that's what I plan to do. Thank you.
The incumbent for District 7, Mr. Bob Nault.
Well, I want to thank KTLO. I really appreciate the time, and I appreciate everybody coming. Okay, I'm here for the people. I really love it. I love a challenge. I like looking into things, like the water thing. I have a lot about that, a lot of information about that. So if you ever want to sit down, I got the true answers. And like you say, transparency is a big thing in this county. A lot of people use that word, but it's not being followed. When a man gives his word, that means a lot. I give my word. I look for the answers. If I don't know it, I'm going to find out, or I'm going to try to find out. I'll give you an answer. I'm going to listen to the people. And that's my job. That's why they voted me in for, not to make a decision for them to come to me, and then we talk about it, and we can make that decision. And it's very hard to vote against yourself, and everybody knows that. You know, I mean, that's the true, but like I said, transparency is hard. I'm always here for the people, and I'm here for the whole county, not just my district, here for the whole county. And thank you very much, and I'd appreciate your vote for District 7.
For District 3, the challenger Jay Sabella did not join us today. I'll move to the incumbent, Mr. Rick Steiner.
I do have closing remarks that I've prepared, but during this meeting, I noticed that a lot of people talked about service. And in this room, we have JP1, Dennis Franks, JP2, Mike McDonald, JP3, myself, JP7, Bob Nault, and Cameron Davis, JP9. We also have people that show up every quorum court meeting, like we have JP4, Dirk Waltrip, JP5, Marianne Edge, and we also have Lisa House and Eddie Griffin and Shannon Walker and Eric Payne. In the last 4 days, I've been to some political events, and my opponent didn't show up. Is this a trend of being a no-show? Quorum Court meets 12 times a year. We've got to show up to serve. Once again, I'd like to thank KTLO for hosting today's forum, and as an incumbent for District 3, Justice of the Peace, I look forward to the opportunity of serving Baxter County for another term. I currently serve on the environmental, legislative, and building committees. I'm looking forward to Baxter County's next building project and the construction of courthouse annex, offices for the assessor, collector, and the voting center. My voting record will show that during my tenure on the court, I voted based on the needs and opinions of the people. I do not bow down to pressure from external interests. I do not have big money campaign donors, nor do I owe political favors. I am running to be a voice of the people of District 3. Instead of a personal agenda for a pet project, I will not support any new taxes. I am a
Steiner,
fiscal
it's time.
conservative.
Okay, thank you.
Please vote for me, Rick Steiner.
Finally,
JP3.
for District 2, challenger Ms. Tia Peters.
I just want to say thank you for having me here today. I look forward to being the advocate and the voice for District 2 if elected. I know transparency, like Bob Knoll said, is a big word, and even going through my own challenges when I first came into this community, I needed a speed limit sign on my road, and just struggling to try to balance that and try to get to the answers and the people that I needed to. I was never told to go to my JP. I was never told to go to my judge. And so I took it upon myself to make that happen and put that speed limit sign on there for the safety of my children and the safety of our neighborhood. And so I just, with that as an example of one of many that I can be the voice of this community and of District 2. So I encourage you guys all to go out and vote on March 3rd, and please vote for me, Tia Peters, the nurse that will put you first.
Incumbent, Mr. Mike McDonald.
Well, I've heard a lot today, and the biggest thing is I hope the people, my constituents in District 2, continue to vote me in for the simple fact that they have allowed me to help make decisions for the betterment of Baxter County. And I think I've done a good job with it. Thank you.
Thank you to all of our candidates for participating in today's forum, and thank you to our listeners for joining us. We also thank our sponsors, H&R Block and Judicious Spirits, for supporting this forum. Join us tomorrow as the community is invited to the Food Bank of North Central Arkansas for forums featuring the Baxter County judge candidates and the sheriff candidates. We'll start at 9 a.m. with the judge candidates, followed by the 3 candidates for Baxter County Sheriff. We'll also be broadcasting on KTLO FM 97.9, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Early voting begins Tuesday at First United Methodist Church. Election Day is set for Tuesday, March 3rd. A replay of today's forum will be available online at ktlo.com/electioncentral. For KTLO Classic Hits in the Boot, I'm Heather Loftis. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to vote.